Next, I want to ask Barry to tell us about Freddie Mac's new Vendor Academy, which is really exciting, and to explain how that got developed and what it is and how it works.
Thanks very much. So we are in the process of just finishing up our Supplier Vendor Academy that we started at the tail end of the spring. And the participants in the Academy have been extraordinarily enthusiastic about it and the whole concept. We think it's a pretty innovative program. Definitely beyond just polite compliments on it. The last time we had a meeting, they kept saying to us, many of them, you have to get the word out about this to other companies. You have to get the word out about this to other companies. And when I got an email asking me could I be on this panel, I'm like, hey, this is like a perfect opportunity to get the word out. So here it goes. So what we did was we worked with our corporate supplier diversity program, who kind of came up with the concept for this. It's a program where we selected ultimately 13 different legal providers, both law firms and legal services providers. The concept was to educate them in depth about our business, so that they would know more about our business and hopefully be better engaged when they did get hired to do good work for us, to understand our business, to understand our issues, to create multiple networking opportunities for them, to get them to know each other so that they could do cross-referrals, and also to use the resources of our big company to help grow their business in terms of marketing and things like that, give them some ideas. So that was the overall goal. What we did was when we were starting the program, we solicited from the legal division their suggestions for people that should apply to the program. People that we met at conferences like this and other diversity conferences and non-diversity conferences. And we reached out to those people, we invited them to apply. There's a formal application process that they had to fill out some forms and give us some information about their practice areas and their commitment to diversity and different things like that. They also had to commit to the program. And the program, we told them, would span 5 months. They had to come to our offices for each of the 5 months. The first session was a 2-day session, and all the other ones were 1-day sessions, so they had to commit to that. And this month, the participants are going to graduate from the program. All of the sessions are led by our internal team, from legal, from our corporate business units, from our Office of Diversity and Inclusion. We ended up, like I said, with about 13 firms. Many of them were NAMWOLF firms, but we also wanted to include LGBT-owned firms, and NAMWOLF doesn't presently permit LGBT-owned firms to participate in NAMWOLF, so we expanded it beyond just the NAMWOLF criteria. Each session included networking receptions with Freddie Mac's legal division. We find at Freddie Mac one great way to get people to turn out to things is to offer them food and drinks. I don't know if your companies are like that, but that's one thing that we've always found. So, whether it would be breakfast or lunches or cocktail reception, anything like that, that got our attorneys to come to the event and meet people, and so they got some exposure that way. We found that over the course of time, the participants in the program really bonded with each other. They've done some things socially together. They've started to do some cross-referrals already together. They've started, I hear, to plan parties on Miami Beach and things like that. Hopefully they'll invite us. So a couple different things that are going on, so that's nice. So just to walk you through, to give you a better idea about the program, how we structured it. The first session, again, it was a day and a half, and it was kind of like a big introduction. So they got to introduce themselves to each other. They had a quick overview of Freddie Mac as a business unit. They heard from our general counsel and some other senior leadership within the legal division, from the head of our legal diversity council, from the head of our corporate supplier diversity program. They did a team building exercise where they talked about what they wanted to learn, and so we definitely structured some of the subsequent sessions around that. They heard from some of the executives within our chief business units to talk about the kind of business that we do. And they experienced a session from our marketing people about how to market themselves to Freddie Mac. The second session, which was a day-long session, they heard a lot about the legal division, how we're structured, the kind of legal issues that we encounter. With panel presentations from each of the legal departments. They also did like a speed networking thing with, we have 10 different departments within the legal division, so they did a quickie speed networking thing with representatives from each of the different departments to hear a little bit more about those issues. And then they also had an opportunity to just ask us questions, whatever they wanted to, of a couple of members of our in-house legal team. The third session focused on business development. So we want to help them develop their business. So we had people from our HR division come in and talk to them about recruiting and succession planning that a lot of small firms don't do. Managing millennials, a big issue for all of us, really. And if anybody has the answer to that, like, they can make a lot of money. Talking about community relationships and corporate citizenship, branding and marketing from our marketing people. They learned about social media and doing new technologies to market their business. And they also received information about pitch presentation. So the pitch presentation was the fourth session. It was the whole session. We split all the academy participants into 2 big groups, and they each had to do like a 20-minute pitch to us to sell us on their firm. And they also had to do a diversity challenge. And then we had judges, both from the legal division and our procurement division, to judge them. We asked them some questions as part of the presentation, and then we gave them written comments that same day on their presentations. It was really a fascinating exercise. You got to see a lot of different styles, and they got to see each other do the pitches too. So they learned from both the good and the bad from the presentations that they saw. So it was a great session. The last session is going to be this month. It's the graduation, and again, we haven't planned the whole agenda, but one of the things that we're going to do is we've invited our largest majority-owned law firms to come, and we want the majority-owned law firms to meet these people who are graduating from our program, so that they can certainly hire them not only for Freddie Mac matters, but also for other matters, whether it be as local counsel or lower cost alternatives to matters that they're handling where they have expertise, because not only Freddie Mac, but everybody in this audience and a lot of other companies want to increase their supplier diversity efforts. So they've just been really enthusiastic about it. We've been enthusiastic about it. We've met some great people. Some of the participants have been ones that have done a little bit of work for us in the past. We thought it was worthwhile to have them participate so that they could grow their base of knowledge about the company and hopefully sustain long-term business relationships with them. So we set aside, maybe like 3-4 spots for those kind of firms or companies that have done some work for us before, and then other ones are firms that haven't done any work for us. We've done some post hoc analysis of it among the legal division. People have been incredibly impressed with the firms that they met. And we've already started to see some success in terms of hiring. A couple of firms have already, even though the program's not officially over yet, they've already started to get some work from us from it. So we're going to definitely keep measuring the metrics and see how it goes, and hopefully roll it out in subsequent years. Do it again. Thanks.